Wassail. So I've been on a hike trying to find the source of the river that runs down to the watermill just near the place I'm staying at. I've been through beautiful fields, little pathways with dew going all over my feet because I'm hiking in flip-flops. And I've located the source, so I'm hoping that the microphone will pick it up. Anyway, I'm in a field that I don't think I should really be in, but I didn't douse to follow it. I followed it mainly by trying to track its path, even though it was far off in fields, weaving and winding. It's clearly an area that was once quite a big river that silted up, and it's very bendy. But I just followed butterflies. Every time I wasn't sure where to go, I let a butterfly tell me. So, magic spirits, water sprites, genius loci source. What would you like to tell me about this little river? So we have Middle World and Heart of the Sky. So Middle World is about the 3D world and how choked the natural world is. And nature goes in cycles, just like Earth goes in cycles, or our energies of the humankind goes in cycles. And once this was a splendid river that rolled and turned a watermill, and now it's just a trickle, and all the way down it's silted up, and it's a little bit like the 3D world has also silted up. But then we have the Heart of the Sky, which is the galactic centre of the universe. Now, I've never noticed this before, but I'm drawn to the fact that she's wearing a kind of peacock moth on her head, talking about transformation of the mind, of the third eye, of the way of thinking, that we're being given a chance now to change things in the world. And it's coming as an inevitability because it's time. And the river's saying to me that this whole choking has been a very long and slow process, because a river still glitters when the sun shines on it. That's so funny, as I've said sun, the card of the sun skipped over in the deck with a couple of others. So our life has glittered at various points. There are moments in our life when we don't notice how much the world is choking and calling for us, because the sun comes out and it makes us all feel wonderful. You know, if you live in a temperate climate where you have winter, spring, summer and autumn, then when summer comes, everything's joyful. Spring burgeons with new life. In some places, the sun is so hot that it's decimated spaces. We have deserts that once were fertile plains, and we forget those cycles because within our lifetime they've always been deserts. Within our historic time frame that we have written books for, places have been deserts, and yet once they were wonderful pastures full of life. And so we're looking here, this spring is talking to us, the river, about cycles. And here comes a butterfly. I've got lots of flies on me at the moment, but that's okay. I'll just pretend I'm a holy cow. I just don't have a tail to flick them off. So we have the sun. And then we have the card of cruelty, the Nine of Swords, and I really am seeing it as a sense of cruelty, but a natural sense of cruelty, a forgetfulness. That's the way to think of it. A forgetful, oh look, and then with the Knight of Swords, which is the Zen of Thoughts, this is about that transformative energy of this peacock moth sitting on the top of the heart of the sky's head. The heart of the sky is where our consciousness comes from. It's in Sagittarius. It's the black hole through which our connection to source is made. And this is the 3D world outside of that tunnel of consciousness. And we're about to unfurl our new thought wings, our helicopter. Please don't go in my mouth, fly. Oh, they're all over me. They're missing the cows from the field. I'm crawling with flies, and that's very odd because actually I don't tend to have insects over me. So, what's taking place? Mary the Jewess is here. She was the Egyptian woman who was the first ever alchemist. And look, I keep talking about her, but please, everybody, look up Mary the Jewess, because she wasn't just the first woman alchemist, she was the first alchemist. And she's coming up a lot at the moment because she's about transforming everything. In this card, we see a red eagle and a white lion, and they should be the other way round. But she had the power to transform them. I'm also drawn to the fact that she has the poly nipple going on like an udder, because I've been looking a lot into Norse history, and I forget the names and I will talk about them again, but in the beginning there was fire and ice, and where fire and ice met they birthed a giant, and this giant birthed all other gods from his armpits and from between his legs, but he was sustained by a holy cow, and she fed him milk. So it's this notion of masculine and feminine coming together as molecules and consciousness, emotional flow, that created all life and will change life as we move forwards, but it can't be done as one thing without the other. It has to be something where we come together. And so then we have the Knight of Cups. This is to be, in this deck, the Knights are the Kings. So this is to be totally zen with our emotions, absolutely flowing with our emotions. So let's just ask for another. Can we please have wood pigeon? I'm always fascinated by them because they sing in 5 bursts, suggesting change, transform, move forwards. Yet they don't. So, 2 more cards to talk with us. Oh, look. My God. So, the galactic centre of the universe, the Andean cross, is the place of source. This is the source of this river flow that once was magnificent and is now choked. Source is coming in to shift the emotional flow, and it's bringing the winds of change. 236 might be worth a look. Oh my goodness, 2 beautiful great dragonflies dancing with each other. Oh, come and join us. Please come and join us. Well, they might. We'll see. They've gone a bit further down. But dragonflies, again, are transformation. This is about a time of transformation. We're getting all the messages of transformation. Mary the Jewess, she is alchemy. She is the woman who can change anything, base metals, grass, into anything else she wants, because she understood how source energy blows through everything and creates a magic to transform anything. So 6 and 3 is also, please fly. 6 and 3 is the Tesla molecules, the electrons, the positive and negative, bouncing in and out of dimensions. So this ability that Source has is to pull in different electrons from different dimensions and create a movement, a shift for us into newer dimensions, spaces where life is better and life flows beautifully. So, can we have some messages about the Andean Cross and the Wind of Change? Got one card down there. It's very damp, the grass, so I'm trying to keep the cards on my bag, stop them from getting too wet. These cards are being a little bit tricky sticky. I think it's because the air's damp. They were very wonderful this morning. Oh, look. So, look, we have the card. The Andean Cross and the Wind are divine consciousness, divine source frequency coming in. Why are they able to come in now and make this change? Because the Earth grid has had its Hierophant epiphany. The Earth grid is now divine masculine frequency, and this is a frequency of comfort. That this is kind of Ninlil, if you remember back to my reading I did on the gates of Ninlil. She is the feminine counterpart to Enlil, and he separated heaven and earth to create space for humanity, which we've choked up. We were meant to. That was the frequency of the raw masculine grid. Now Ninlil is coming back in to pull the heavens and the earth closer together. You can't get more close than Source blowing in and swirling all around the world to bring these changes in. And then the two other cards that came out are I can't say this word. It's to be sated. It's satiety. Satiety. It's such a hard word to say. It always looks like a made-up word whenever I see it. Satiety. Satiety. Anyway, it's the 10 of Cups. This is when everything flows in absolute aboundingness. And do you see how this energy here is like an emotional sword of truth? And all of the swords are all plugging in from Source and raining down through all the dimensions. This is not something that's just happening to Earth. This is a transformation that's happening on a massive cosmic level. And then we have the sigil, the card of a cosmic gift being brought in. Absolutely so beautiful. I love this card. And actually this card has a 5-flowered, like a yellow pimpernel. I don't know the name of the flower. In the centre, maybe it's an iris. Oh, it would be an iris. No, they have 3 petals. Anyway, there's a 5-petaled flower. I'm just observing the 5 because of the wood pigeon and its 5 calls. But also, the frequency on this is a line that continues to move through, but has a sense of 3-dimensionality. And that's also linking into the notion, there's a crow, linking into the notion of crop circles, if you only know how to look at them properly, are 3-dimensional, they're not 2D. So one final message please. One final message from this beautiful source river that we've found today. Now I'm off to go for a swim. I've got a sound healing as well today, which will be my first in the building, and I need to check whether the internet works properly, and then we can get on with our lovely booking the tarot class together, where we do a workshop on the major arcana first. So can we please have one final message? Oh, That's a lot of messages. I'm not taking those three, I'm taking the one that fell alone. It's time to gather. It's time to gather the collective, the energies, the frequencies, the people, the abundance, to gather together to make change, to bring about something new. Every time I point at the wood pigeon, it stops making the noise. Anyway, that's your reading from the source of this lovely little river, and I'm going to hike back. It's quite a long walk, so all have a wonderful day. Wassail.